Hey everyone, in a previous video we talked about 3 official positioning. If you haven't checked that out, please do, because today we're going to be taking one step forward with that. We're going to be talking about instances in the game where we kind of have to adapt our 3 official positioning through this concept known as important lines. What is an important line? Well, it's any boundary line, midfield line, or the front of the end zone. Almost any painted line on the field. No offense, no run zone line. Thoughts and prayers. Now, as officials, we have to pay extra attention to these lines because whenever a ball carrier steps on or crosses them, that either means a ball carrier's run out of bounds, they've gotten a first down, or points have been scored. So what do we do as officials knowing that there are these important lines on the field? Well, we position slightly differently, and it's best to show you through examples. All right, in our first example here, we have the offense going for a 1-point convert. They are on the 5-yard line here. The defense is in circled in blue here. We are in short position, so we got our referee here, we got our down judge, and we got our field judge here. So firstly, let's ask, where are important lines on the play? Well, when a team's going for a convert attempt, the front of the end zone and the back at the end zone are the important lines. So we have to make sure those are covered. But right now, as you can see, none of these lines are covered. So we have to adapt, we have to adjust. So in a perfect scenario, we would have our down judge scoot over here and our field judge scoot over here. Now, if we look at our lines, they're covered, they're covered. Now, this leaves this gap right here, but we can kind of address that in a later video. So let's take a look at the actual video and see this in practice. So looking at this example in real time, we're setting up the 1-point convert attempt. Again, we're going right to left around the 5-yard line. Look at the communication that's happening between the two officials saying, I got this line here, I've got this line here, right? Those lines are going to be covered. That's the goal. Let's see if it bears true. And we got our down judge making their way, and decently fine. Of course, I'd probably like if our field judge made it all the way to the back, but in this case it didn't make a difference on this play, but it's a good habit to get into, to just be there on the snap. Of course, you still have to be with your rusher at the start of the play and then get back to start. Same thing for here. You got to be on the line of scrimmage to start the play, then go here. Again, we're going to talk about a different example if you're wondering about the referee here. So let's move on to our next example when we look at the midfield line. Really quickly, there might be other things in the play to talk about, but we're only focused on our officials and do they get to the important line and why that's important. So in this play here, we've got our offense circled in red, our defense circled in blue. We've got our offense going right to left on our screen. We've got our referee, down judge, field judge right here. So what's the important line? Well, it's this half line right here. So they're about 3 yards away from midfield line, so we have to make sure our down judge gets here, and then our field judge, our field judge does not intrude, and they potentially take a step back. Again, there's some other shenanigans on this play, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking to see, is this midfield line, this important line, covered? On the snap, he gets here perfectly. He's watching this line here. Again, there's some shenanigans back here, but that's not the point of this clip. The point is we got to the midfield line, our important line, correctly. Now, let's take a look at some examples when we are in the long coverage position. All right, to set up the play here, we got offense going right to left. It looks like another 1-point convert attempt. Offense circled in red, defense circled in blue. We got our referee here. We've got our field judge here. We got our side judge right here. First thing we are curious about is, why are we both on the rusher bag? We only need one person here. The next question we want to ask is, what are the important lines on this play? Well, it's the front of the end zone right here, and it's the back, which is right here. So on a play like this, when we're in long coverage, this is a good spot to be in long coverage because we got our referee watching the line and quarterback. We'll have our down judge, our field judge going to the front of the end zone right away here, and we should have our side judge already at the back of the end zone. So to start this play, I would personally like to see, if I go like this, side judge starting down here, our field judge starting at the 7, and immediately after the snap, it goes to the front of the end zone, okay? Let's take a look at the video and see how it plays out. Again, we need someone on that rush bag to start the play, and it looks like our officials are moving pretty good, which is great. So let's pause it here. We've got our field judge on the important line. We got our side judge close to, but almost on the important line. I mean, we can get all the way back there. Again, you can start back there going forward. We do have our referee backing up from the line of scrimmage. I don't necessarily love this because we are losing that line of scrimmage. I think you can take a step or two. I think 5 yards might be a little too much, but again, it doesn't really matter for this play. The important lines are covered. One thing to note is that our side judge threw their hat because a player had stepped out of bounds. You can only know this if you're in the proper position. So good job to this side judge here. And again, I mean, good job to the crew here because we got this important important line covered. We got that important line covered. Good work. Throwing a little curveball at you this next play. So we're still in long coverage. The midfield line is right here. We have our offense in white going left to right. I know we're switching it up, and our defense here. So our offense is 4 yards away from the line of scrimmage. That's 5 ticks, but it's only 4 yards, right? So what do we do here? Someone has to cover this. In this case here, I think we all understand it can't be the referee. The referee can't go here because we're leaving way too much of the quarterback. We're too far away from the quarterback in this case. So in this case, we want our field judge to head down here to the midfield line. Now, what does this mean for the rest of the crew? Well, it means for the side judge way down here, it means that they have to cover, everything else, because the field judge is not leaving this important line right here. This is the midfield line. You know what I mean? So who's going to get the front of the end zone and the back of the end zone way down at the other end of the field? Well, that's going to be the side judge. So they have to make sure they are hustling on this play. Let's take a look at the video and see if that comes true. One thing to note prior to getting into this video is watch the communication again. I mean, we can already kind of see that he's pointing. I've got the midfield line to his crew. Make sure as a crew we're looking at each other. We're acknowledging our communication signals as well. He's tapping his chest saying, I've got midfield, I've got midfield. Lined up on the rusher, which is great, and then heads this way. This is, good. We never want to be on the field. We should be a bit back, but again, not really the point here. Again, there's a penalty in the play. Not the point of the play, but the point is we got to our midfield line and we got our important line covered. The thing I'd just caution this person is back, 2-3 yards up, just so we're not in the field of play. Sometimes in games, we need to switch the coverage type that we're in. Sometimes we're in short, we need to go long, and vice versa. How we do this, now we communicate this as a crew, is called a bump. By smashing 2 fists on top of each other and say, we're going to bump. Let's take a look at a good example of one. So we saw this crew earlier, and in this game, they are typically in short coverage, okay? We are going for now a 1-point convert attempt from the 4-yard line, or 5-yard line, and it looks like blue is on offense, going right to left. White is on defense here. We've got our officials, there's 2 here and 1 here. Let's just see how it plays out and watch the communication, especially amongst these two, to communicate that, hey, we're not going to be in short position anymore, because typically a ref should come back here behind the QB. This ref, I'm assuming, says, hey, let's bump on this one. See how the ref, now we're switching into long position, and they're hitting their fists, right? And they're making sure this official down here, the down judge, communicates. He's not quite getting it, and so the referee signals a few more times. He goes, oh, yeah, absolutely. He's going to line up on 7, and again, what's the important line? The front of the end zone, so he should come down here and be here at the start of the play. Let's take a quick look here. At the prior to the play, we got a referee on the line. We've got our side judge way back here. He's at the back of the end zone. This is where you want to be. And then again, we have our field judge here who should come here because he's lined up with the rush to start, which is great, but then should come to the front of the end zone. I believe on this play he does not, which is, again, I know it's 2 steps, but when it's that close play, I want you folks to be on the line so you can make that definitive call. It looks a lot better than when you're making it 2 yards away. Regardless, it's a pretty good demonstration of good communication by the crew. Even if your crew all knows it, it's not a bad idea to kind of reiterate, hey, let's bump. I know we were going there anyway, but let's just be extra clear on it. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Now, there is more depth to all of these topics, but I'm trying to keep them quick and concise and easily watchable for you as best as I can. And stay tuned for some more ref-ready videos.